call the meeting to order here at 6:30. And I'm going to open, excuse me, do we have anybody participating under AB 2449?
No, we do not.
Okay, then I'd like to request a call for the roll. You could handle that for us. I love it.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Diane Bailey here. Stephen Booker,
Present.
Joseph Chen,
Here,
Michael Clausen,
I heard him say he was present earlier.
Michael Clausen,
Michael, say present again. Thank you.
Kathleen Goport, Melee Himui,
Present.
Aurelio Huizar,
Present.
perfect. Gail Lee, John McKenna,
Here.
Jason Mendelson,
Present.
Cheryl Schaff, Remy Tan, Robert Whitehair.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Great, thank you. I would like to take action. Oh, we don't have, anybody have any public comment here or online that is not items on the agenda? Please go for it. Thank you.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Hi, my name's Adam Lorraine. I happen to be a member of the Peninsula Clean Energy Board of Directors, and I'm here to join as a member of the public and watch the Community Advisory Committee on an auspicious evening. It's a pleasure and privilege to be with you. I just want to thank you all for what you do, and thanks for having me.
Any other public comment? You have one more online?
Is Vice Chair Medina on the line yet?
Yes, he just joined and I am inviting him to join as a panelist.
Great, just heads up, he may be asking for an agenda to shift and more.
We need it. We could take that now, or we could do approval of the minutes. Are you asking for that? All right, let me do the first thing then. So I would like us to take action to set the agenda and approve the consent agenda and approve the minutes from our September 11, 2025 meeting. Could I get a motion in a second? I will move. Robert moves. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Diane, thank you. Can we get a roll call vote on that, please?
Sure. Do you want to maybe ask for public comment? And
Is there
then-
any public comment on the minutes? Or on the consent agenda requesting anything to change? Thank you. All right, seeing none, could I get a roll call vote?
Okay. Diane Bailey. Hi. We're actually all in person, so don't have to do individual roll call.
Okay, great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. The motion passes.
All right, I'd like to do my chair report and we can see if, I see Vice Chair Medina is on it too. So we'd like to move, I'm assuming item 5 up, we can do that, but let me do my thing really quickly. Into public comment. I want to thank Diane Bailey who filled in. Kathleen and I could not present to the board at the last meeting. It's the very last minute. I apologize to the board because I went to Yosemite and I forgot there was no internet where I was in Curry Village, so I could not make the meeting and Diane filled in and read our report out last time, so I want to thank her for doing that. And that was specifically on our recommendations on the strategic planning piece. I thought that was great to share with the board. I also wanted to thank, as our council member mentioned, this auspicious evening, the great participation. I just want to thank everybody. I've been on a Brown Act Body Committee since 1998. My mother, when I was in college, said, "You're not doing enough to give back. You got to do something. I've got this board for you to join." And I did so. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't understand it. I may have shared with you, I may have been allegedly accused of violating the Brown Act 30 years. But the honor of doing that and doing public service, something I take very, is a very important thing. And it's a very keystone part of my life. And I just think so many of the faces here have been with me on this committee for over 8 years now. And there's so many more who have joined us over the years to help out with this. And I find that this group has been the best group I've served with. 3 or 4 different Brown Act bodies. I've served for Woodside on their advisory committee for over 19 years. This has been the greatest experience of the greatest group of people I've been around. I've been more passionate and dedicated to the cause and committed to the cause, even the ones who are only here for a few minutes or a few meetings. And I want to specifically thank both Michael Clausen and Desiree Thayer and Ray Lario and Cheryl Schaff, probably forgetting others who shared this, who led the way for what I've tried to do here, probably unsuccessfully for the last year. But I also want to specifically thank Kathleen, who may be here soon, but has been my right-hand person and has helped me with everything for the last year plus and was invaluable to this committee, as have you all been. And so before we do anything else, I just wanted to thank all of you guys for that. I think you've done a great job. And to that end, as we get going here, I think there'll probably be some emotional moments today. And all I would request is, when we get to some of these items, please share. I'm going to go around the room and ask everyone to share. You can, of course, not share anything you don't want to share or discuss. I'm going to try and limit the conversation to 2 minutes so we can get through some of these things, at least up front. But I think it's important that everybody says whatever they feel they need to say. But I'm going to try and keep it on topic and civil and draw everybody in. I'm already getting emotional, so I apologize for that. But I do think it's important that we all get a chance to say what we want to say and share what we want to share. And there's specific discussion points I want us to guide us here, we'll get into. But I specifically just want to thank everybody here for everything you've done for me personally. This is a great group and you've done a great job. And I want to thank you for that over the last many years. And that is my report. I would love a public comment on that if anybody wants to make any. Okay, thank you. And then if we want to move things out of order, I have no problem with that. I'm assuming that. Oh, good. I just thanked you. I said how terrible you were. You weren't here, but now I'll pretend how great. Again, thank you for everything you did. I could not have done any of this without you, Kathleen, this last year, and I really appreciate it. Okay, is it okay, Jen, if we take something out of order? I'm assuming that's to get Vice Chair Medina up here.
I think Martin's his hand up.
Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, I can't hear him. You boost him?
Hello, hello.
Okay.
You can hear me now? Is that better?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Yes, thank you, everyone. Good evening. I was hoping that we could move the big topic to the front. I'm down in Long Beach right now, attending the Council of Cities, and I was hoping to be able to go attend a couple different events this evening. If it was okay to move Chair Mendelson the item up.
I have no brothers. Any objection? All right, there being none, please do. So we're gonna move up number 5, review and recommend approval of proposal regarding replacement of Community Advisory Committee with a new model for public input. And again, we'll let I think Vice Chair Medina and others from staff will weigh in on this, and then we'll have a little discussion. As I described earlier. Please proceed. Oh, wait, give us 1 second. We're loading slides for you. 1 second. Ready?
I got it. And I think Sean
Thank
is
you.
taking the lead at the very beginning. Sean, is that right?
No, but I'm happy to.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I'm remote, so I apologize. It's hard for me to get it all coordinated.
Marty, or I should say Vice Chair Medina, maybe it would be good to kick off with just a overview of the board ad hoc committee on committees and some of its work, just to establish the framework that you all have been working in, and then I'll chime in if there's anything to chime in. Does that work?
That's also fine.
Okay.
So basically, I just want to give a little bit of background. As a founding member of PCE, it has been truly wonderful seeing the progress that we have made together. I likely have interviewed the majority of our board members, our CAC members, and I just want to make sure that you all understand that how much your effort and passion is sincerely appreciated by myself and the ad hoc committee. So this issue was brought up to us, and we understand that it's a very delicate issue. But the benefits that we're hearing, we think they're worth going forward with, and the strength of the new community feedback forum with its flexibility and it not being a formal board committee, it allows for more communication. As many of you know, the Brown Act is pretty limiting on councils and on various committees. So the committee plans to recommend at the November board meeting that we move forward on this new model for gathering community input. We would sunset the Community Advisory Committee at the end of this year. And in January 2026, staff Staff would begin forming the new forum, aiming for the first meeting in early 2026.
Great. Marty, do you want me to add anything?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the part that I had.
Okay, maybe I'll just take a step back. Good to see all of you. I think most of you know that the board put together an ad hoc committee on the committees in the spring of this year. It has met multiple times and looked at not only the CAC, but also now Audit and Finance and Executive Committee, with the purpose of really asking the question, what makes the most sense for Peninsula Clean Energy as we round the corner on the next 10 years of our operations? And what is the most effective way to achieve the goals that we have for community input, engagement, and sort of evolving all the various ways that we're working in the community. And so that's been the subject of their meetings. Staff has supported it. I do want to thank Kirsten and Vanessa for doing a lot of research as to practices from other CCAs that the board ad hoc considered. I will just say on behalf of Chair Colson, she could not be here tonight, which is in part why I'm here. I think there is an acknowledgement that it took a long time for us to get here, and there was some frustration and maybe hard feelings along the way. I was not privy to those conversations, but I know for a fact that none of that was intended. And so on behalf of Chair Colson and Vice Chair Medina, if you want to chime in, I do want to acknowledge we heard that feedback. And I do think that the board ad hoc wants to apologize that it just took so darn long and it was a little circuitous. So with that, I don't really think there's much more to introduce here, other than I think the next idea was to, Kirsten, I believe you were going to walk through the proposal, right?
Sure.
Okay, and then we'll open it up for conversation. Thank you.
I really appreciate what you said, Jason, about this being such a great group to work with. Yeah, I've worked with you all since the beginning, and I was on the first iteration of the Community Advisory Committee. And I want to say that this group does exactly what we asked you to do and more. You do it really well. You show up prepared, you make sure we get you the materials ahead of time so you can read them, and you show up and be informed and make your recommendations, and that is exactly what this organization asked you to do. So the conversation tonight, I want to be really clear, is not reflective of your performance as a community advisory committee. We're looking forward to see what is the best model moving forward. What is the most effective model for PCE for meeting our goals moving forward? So thank you for all the fabulous work that you all have done, all the dedication. The CAC has never missed a meeting because we didn't make quorum, in my memory. We have made we have a better attendance record than the board. The board has a really good record, but the CAC's is even better, I think. And so this is a group that is dedicated and shows up and does what the organization asks. And I think for what we want to do at PCE, we need a bigger tent. We need more support from a broader base of our community for what we're doing, and we need to involve more people. And I think we need to do that with a more flexible, accessible structure. So for example, Vanessa and I just came today from the San Mateo County Climate Summit. 100 people in the room, all talking about climate and climate adaptation for San Mateo County, lots of CBOs, English, Spanish translation, breakout rooms, and so on. That's the sort of thing we can do with this type of proposal. We can bring in so many more people. We can do it in much more flexible ways, much more community-friendly ways. And I got to say, one of the impediments to that is the Brown Act. It's very important for legislative bodies. It's really awkward for community listening. It means that it's hard for us to do basic things like have breakout groups. And so thinking about how I want to broaden the tent, how I want to bring in more people, how I want to bring in more voices, hear from more people. I think we can do this with a more flexible model. And so when I was thinking back to one of the CAC working groups on the functioning of the CAC from a couple of years ago, and we surveyed all the other CCAs that have CACs, and this is where I get in trouble with the Cs and the As. And some of them have models like ours, and then MCE, formerly known as Marine Clean Energy, had a really different model, which was they have something called the Community Power Coalition. It's not a Brown Act body. It is a group of about 200 community-based organizations. No, I mean, they have a number of counties, so they're bigger than us. And so they pull together, or they invite those 200 community-based organizations to regular meetings to give deep community feedback on topics of interest to MCE. So for example, last year they had a meeting that looked just at energy affordability. And one of the nice things is that they could, all the CBOs are invited, but they could really get out and recruit the organizations that could most weigh in on that topic. So they were going out and making sure like the social service organizations were there to weigh in on that particular topic. And then if they did another topic, I know a topic like, we might potentially do might be solar and storage programs for residential for residents. And in that case, we would want to hear from organizations that are interested in that, as well as customers that are interested in that. The proposal we have is based loosely off the MCE model. And it gives us so much more flexibility to dialogue with the community members. Right now with the Brown Act, as you know, like if somebody has public comment, they get up, they have 2 minutes, and we're not even legally supposed to respond, though we kind of do. And it's intimidating, it's formal. And so, I'm grateful for the community members who do show up. Brian Schmidt, fabulous, he shows up a lot, and I'm thankful for that, but we only have a handful of people who show up and participate in this way the forum is set up, because it's not friendly to the community to show up and participate in this way. And I think we can do better. So that's where I'm coming from when I made this, the suggestion to the board that they look at the MCE model. So yes, we covered this slide. So the benefits of this model would be to unlock broader and deeper feedback from our customers. We can do more with the format. We can have breakout groups, which is just so basic, but we can't do that with this group. It'd be easier to have translation. We could move around the county. We can, we can explore different formats, and we can have just, more people and have genuine dialogue with the community members. And what else? Let's see. Next slide. Okay, good. And so I would like to invite everyone on this group to join Vanessa and I on a planning committee for the community feedback forum. So I want to keep working with all of you. And so I just want to do it in a way that is more effective for us listening to our community and bringing in more people and involving more people in this big change that we all want to make happen. So yeah, I'd like to invite any community advisory committee member who'd like to join the planning committee of the community feedback forum to do that and help us think it through. I imagine we'd invite some other folks as well, such as like the CBOs that we work with through our grant program, and think through, like, what is the best way to format this? What are the best questions to ask? What are the topics that we need to dive into? And, where should we hold it? Like, we could have meetings in East Palo Alto. We could have them in South San Francisco. We could have them on the coast. We could move around. I think with the Brown Act, we feel like attached to this room because we know the technology works. But if we weren't afraid of violating that, like, I feel like we could move around a little more and try, going to our customers instead of expecting them to come here. Yeah. So that is the feedback. I mean, that's the proposal we have. To establish a community feedback forum. So it's in no way saying we don't want to keep working with you all. I want to keep working with you all. But I think we just want to widen the tent and bring in more voices.
Vice Chair Medina has his hand up, or is that old?
I think it might, Vice Chair Medina, would you like to say something? See, your hand is up.
You're muted still.
I apologize. That was from before, so.
Right. Right. And I
Thank
think,
you.
thank you. I think the slide here we have is a good one to reflect on. I don't want to call on anybody first, but I would like to at least go around the room and let everybody speak here if they want to. And again, we're going to try and limit it, but say what you need to say. And I think this is a good starting point for the discussion. Could I get an opening volunteer, or can I call on you, Aurelio? Because you're first in my vision. You want to punt?
Let me see. Well, I remember when Christine in 2017 called a concilio and invite to be part as a community organization to helping to promote Peninsula clean energy. And I remember I was talking to her if I can make the proposal in Spanish. And she said, no, I have to be in English. So that's the first barrier I face to be here in, for Latin community, we usually hear that. So have to be in English. And slowly we start to break and be part, even if in English is not my first language. I say this one because after 10 years, the 7 years, Peninsula Clean Energy is here in the community. My question was, why Peninsula Clean Energy can be close in the community as a marital house, as another organization to offer service for the community? I know this new role, I hope that this chance could be good for the community, especially in this time. For example, I see every day medical is gonna be hard for Latin community, and only for Latin community, Chinese and other communities in South San Francisco and East Palo Alto and Salmon Bay. Cal French is gonna be the same. Or students, they had the DACA, they're gonna face our situation in January. Another programs like a HIP, we're not sure if HIP is gonna have the money to assist families in next year. Each program now is only $300, and the match program plan is only to December. So I think so if Peninsula Clean Energy is gonna or wanna be close to the community and helping the community, I was thinking small groups like a focus group we did with the Condado, San Mateo County. We are very close to the community and we pass the survey and ask the people what they need, how we can help. And most people say, oh, help me to fill the application for medical, help me to fill the application. And we are tied in the immigration staff because we don't have one paralegal in the office or one lawyer helping the concilio or this situation is happening right now. This administration is going one direction, is we can, even if we can try the community or many people, it's very tight for us. Because we don't have the money and we had a few money to fight for a lawyer but we don't cancel all the. I hope this format is gonna be good for the community. I'm not sure. I know every change is difficult, the transition time, but we hope Peninsula Clean Energy is going the good direction, can say. I will say. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, if you don't want to say anything, that's fine. I don't want to call anybody out. I'm just going to go around the room. Michael, do you have any comments?
Well, I have to say, I think it's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I think it's a big mistake. I hear that, I think it is desirable to get more input from more people. But what you've had, I've been on with this since the beginning, and I was thinking about resigning actually very shortly anyhow. But I certainly will under this new format. We've had a series of incredibly not knowledgeable, and talented and committed people for 10 years who got into the nitty gritty. I would say now that there are many people on this committee right now who are more knowledgeable about local energy issues than board members are. Particularly now that the initial board has, mostly vanished with a few exceptions. And we have other people who, aren't necessarily as, well, first of all, they're not nearly as engaged. They weren't engaged in the founding of it, of the organization, like I was, and Jason and Diane and a number of other people. But I think that you're confusing a couple of things. I think it's, there are some problems with the Brown Act process, and I think the big issue is, I hear it in different ways, allow for more communication, getting more community input, hearing more community voices. Well, that can be dealt with and still have a core group of people who are really knowledgeable about local energy issues, and also knowledge about the history of how Peninsula Clean Energy has functioned. And all the working groups that we've done, you're gonna lose that. You can't just bring in some group that to talk about, I don't know, whatever the topic is, and doesn't have the context in which this group has. I just think it's a big mistake. I think it's on the part of a few board members. We've been a little troublesome because we've raised hard questions. We haven't necessarily agreed with approaches that the board is taking. I, for one, still am very critical of the fact that we aren't doing more distributed generation. And we haven't met our targets, and we haven't acknowledged that we haven't met our targets. And so, but maybe that's why I shouldn't be involved, because I'm critical of what the organization is doing. But I see this, I think it's a big mistake. I think you're going to have, you'll get more community input, and that's desirable on a few issues. But we really help, at least in the early days, and I think to some degree, make this a stronger and more effective organization. And I think you're going to lose that going in this direction. And I'm going to shut up now.
Thank you very much, Michael. Dan, did you want to add anything?
Yes, please. +1 to Michael's excellent comments as usual. And, okay, so I've been on the CAC since 2018 and also very much involved with PCE since before it was even formed. And so, I care a lot about this organization, and I'm incredibly proud of PCE and all that it's accomplished. And the very talented people working here. I'm looking at Kirsten and Vanessa, but everyone, you too, sorry. I've learned a lot from all of you, including these CAC members, as Michael mentioned, I think are really special people, and I feel really grateful to have had the chance to work with you all. Sean, to your comments, I appreciate that. I appreciate you acknowledging the concerns around the process that led to the sunsetting of the CAC. It did feel awkward, but this was a long time in coming. We saw lots of signs along the way, so it's not really a surprise. It was just a little bit disappointing in the way that it was handled. I have a deep commitment to PCE due to PCE's commitment to clean energy and climate. These CAC meetings are really difficult for me to make. They're on the same day as a monthly training that I have down in Morgan Hill all day. And it's just a long haul to go back, pick up a child, shuttle, handle family things, and then come here. But I'm glad for the opportunity to participate. I really care. If I look tired, I am a little tired. With that said, it does feel like PC's commitments to climate have cooled in the last year, and I'm a little bit concerned about that. I hope that we could stay true to the mission and goals of the organization as it was originally established. It seems like they're getting replaced with general concepts. I hope we're all still working towards the same goals. I do accept all the changes that are going to happen, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to serve a really phenomenal organization. And I hope PCE continues to flourish, and I hope all of the CAC members go on to do really great things, but also stay in touch, please. Thanks.
Mr. Wayne.
Well, I apologize in advance because I'm gonna have to read what I wrote. I know that if I don't read it from something pre-prepared, I won't be able to get through this. I'm with Diane and with Michael. This is a mistake to expand this organization. But first, I want to thank all the wonderful advocates sitting at this table. Jason, Millie, Steve, Joseph, Kathleen, John, Diane, Michael, and Aurelio. I look forward to coming to these meetings. Like a lot of you, I've been on many, many community boards. This is the best one I've ever been on. It's the brightest bunch of people, the most committed, the most dedicated people I've ever been involved with. So thank all of you for the opportunity having been involved in this committee. I also want to thank all the staff that for all the hard work you put into it. I know this is not easy for you to sit here and go through this. I know you're doing it for a reason you think it's good. I honor you that you're thinking about that. I think it's a mistake, but I honor that you've done that. It's been a gift to be able to work with Sean, Shalini, Kirsten, Vanessa, Gwen, Chris, the guy who does our technical stuff, Lily, Mark, Raphael, Blake, Jen, Phil, and the rest of a very fantastic hard group, working group of people. And I'm sorry if I forgot some of you, but it's just a fantastic group of people. Last night, I attended the City San Mateo Sustainability and Infrastructure Commission, where the subject was reach codes. And I was very pleased to hear so much of the conversation about greenhouse gas emissions. And I know where that came from. That came from this body. We had that one meeting where we went for 2 hours talking about greenhouse gas emissions tools. The sophistication of our commission, and I suspect a lot of the commissions, is ramped up so much because of the work of PCE and because of the work we've done. This is, I think, one of the significant deliverables that came from this hard work of all of us here in the committee. And I say in collaboration with PCE staff. And that is the thing I'm deeply concerned that we're going to miss. I'm on the building and electrification working group with Raphael this afternoon. I look forward to talking to Raphael. I look forward to talking first. I look forward to talking to everybody here who knows so much and has such a strong position. I'm afraid when we get into this other group, we're going to lose all that. We took a strong leadership position on DEI, a strong, helpful stance regarding the nuclear allocation. I know that was not popular with the board, but that was something we had to do. Useful feedback and support for the home upgrade program. It was my privilege to be part of that review process. Kathleen has been part of other processes. John's been part of processes. Joseph, and all of us have had a chance to be involved in what's going on. I don't think the Brown Act is a big stumbling block. It's complicated, but look at all we accomplished working under the Brown Act. I am really disappointed though in one area, and that's the gradual watering down of the PCE mission statement. I won't read all of them, like I'll just paraphrase, but back in 2021, the board voted to direct Peninsula Clean Energy to adopt a goal of 100% greenhouse gas free by 2035 and direct staff to come up with a plan for achieving that goal. The last one we saw last month was to provide affordable clean energy and support local solutions to lower costs, reduce pollution, and strengthen community resilience. I'll just let it speak for itself. What happened to greenhouse gases in the mission statement? I got involved in this because for me, getting rid of greenhouse gases is a way of life. Not just electrification, but everything I do all day long in my life. I work with all the Climate Action, Elders Action Network, and a lot of other groups. Our job is to change the way we live on this planet. And PCE, I thought, was going to be a very strong part of it. I think in the next few years, you're going to need us. We're going to need you. Pressure is going to be unbelievable because of all the cost increases in PPAs. There'll be advocates like me for pushing for even more cleaner energy. And I hope we can continue to collaborate with Brown Act. I guess I'll finish with saying PCE needs us. We definitely need PCE. I've gained so much information by being on this committee. I'm a much more effective advocate in the community because of everybody in this room. That's the staff, that's the advocates like me, and the rest of us. So I'll just say, I think changing the nature of this committee as proposed is a mistake. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Chairman. And thank you to the rest.
Yeah, so I'm one of the new kids on the block. It's been about a year and a half, but I followed this group and PCE and I wanted to be a part of it, so I applied. I didn't make it the first time, but I applied again and I was lucky enough to get appointed, so I just really appreciate PCE in general and what this group does. So thank you to everybody that's a part of that. When I first learned what the Brown Act was, I was just like, what? How do you get anything done? Like, and so I've learned, I do really appreciate the, you know, the problems that it puts forth in making progress. And frankly, I think what you guys are planning to do is great. I think a community feedback forum where we bring more people, more voices together, like we need that. It's something that I'm part of the Environmental Quality Commission of Menlo Park. We're gonna have a subcommittee about community engagement. And this idea, I think, you know, I've listened to podcasts, and if we can bring more stakeholders together and come to some consensus, that might take a while, but once you establish that, then progress can really go more quickly when everyone is bought into it. So I do appreciate the concepts that you're thinking about. My suggestion is that you do both. I think that there's still planning to be done with the community feedback forum and what the sort of cadence will be. It could be quarterly, it could be every other month. This group meets every month. So my idea is figure out what the community feedback for, or maybe we meet as a group every other month or quarterly, and then you work the community feedback forum around that schedule or vice versa. But I think there's an opportunity to do both, because as you've heard, you've got a really passionate group here that are just committed to clean, sustainable futures. We eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, and I think we bring a lot to PCE, and I think it would be great if we could continue in maybe a different cadence, but as a body. And then you also bring in this really powerful community feedback forum concept as well. So that's my idea. I'm going to continue to do this work no matter what. I'm going to keep doing whatever I can to help PCE, but yeah, those are my thoughts, and it's just great to be a part of this group.
My thoughts are pretty similar to what you've heard already. I'm not sure. I think getting more community input is great. I don't know if abolishing this group is a mistake. I do think it's unnecessary. My thoughts were similar to John's, that it doesn't seem like you need to get rid of this group to add the greater community input. And in fact, I've kind of wondered why the CAC wasn't being used to help with this kind of thing all along. So that's my primary thought. You know, a year ago, we were told that we weren't running our meetings in a sufficiently formal manner, and now we're being told that the formality of these meetings is the obstacle. So I find that a little odd and ironic, and haven't quite figured that out yet.
Thank you. Joseph, you're in the corner, I can't see you.
Hey there.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you. Thank you to everyone. I feel like I'm a bit more of a centrist on this issue and on this topic. And I do think that at the table today, I am the member with the least amount of tenure. So I don't want to be insensitive by saying that I have no idea what mountains that you've had to overcome and climb up to get to this point. I simply don't have that history, but I imagine it cannot have been easy in order to establish exactly what we have here today. And I get to be the one who benefits from the efforts that the shoulders of giants that I now sit on, as in many, many things in the world, in the industry, and here in the climate advocacy world. So I do think that actually my story is a little similar to John's, where I applied to the CAC because I had this push. One day a switch just clicked in my head, and I knew that I wanted to do a lot more things that were focused about climate, a lot more things that were focused about being in the clean energy space, reducing greenhouse gases, everything that's good about being clean. And I thought this would be a really good way of, getting into it. But when I was not selected the first time around, it bummed me out, for lack of better terms. And I was only lucky enough that a previous member had vacated this position for me to be appointed to here. And I have enjoyed every minute of being in this meeting, every piece of discussion, every presentation. I know that the staff members have to go through so much work and effort in order to bring these meetings together, to prepare them, which is why I know that the realism of having two committees, one that's similar to this and another one of community outreach, if the same amount of time and attention is spent helping bolster this group as it is to building up the future state feedback forum, however it may be, I know that will ultimately be a very powerful and driving force. I also agree with John that I think it'll take time. It's like compound interest. It takes a little bit of time to get going, but once it gets going, it provides a lot of opportunity. And so, a little too anecdotally, I think that the next time that there is someone who wants to be a part of everything, they don't need to be shunted by needing to be elected. I mean, yes, I could definitely have come and attended these meetings as like Brian Schmidt does. But when sequestered to having a speaking role of only 2 minutes, rather than having a more involved one, I do feel like that impact is a lot less than a person would want. And so I think that there'd be a really great future world where there's a whole organizational list of 50, 100 organizations that all work. And if someone wants to take a scan of that list and say, I think I feel the most kinship with this one and their mission statement and their agreements and whatever they have out there, and they can make their selection based off of that and then become more involved, that would be wonderful. And I also think that there's nothing really stopping us from continuing to meet, because I think that everyone here is wonderful and I am truly honored to have been able to participate. And I think that I definitely want to know you even after the CAC moves on to a different form.
Thank you. Steven, you want to share?
Absolutely. So when I got here earlier, we were talking about John and I mentioned something. He asked me how I felt. And I said I was a little sad. And he said, "What, you think it's a done deal? You think it's a done deal now, bro?"
We'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sad, I'm upset. I went through a range of emotions when Kirsten called me. Like you said, we all come from a lot of different backgrounds. And getting PCNE started was difficult for us because I, coming from IBEW, PG&E are cousins. And so there was a lot of back and forth with workforce policy and generation and distribution and procurement. And we've had all these conversations, and I'm with Michael. I think we're a thorn in their side, and more people is less accountability. And I don't know if this actual model is gonna produce more participation. You already said our participation level is above the boards. People have been here longer than members on the board who get reelected or don't get elected or don't run for office. And you lose that institutional knowledge, but still you have us here all the time. And it's really disappointing. It seems somewhat self-serving, in my opinion. It's like a decision that's already been made. And I mean, it's like, why are we even here now? I'm extremely upset and insulted. Among other things. I think what you guys are doing right now is, thank you for letting us talk about it, but it's already done, bro. Like I said, why can't you do both? There's other ways to get more participation without disbanding this or sunsetting this group. People have put a lot of time and energy, their livelihoods in this. I mean, Diane talks about her commitment and where she comes from. I wake up at 5:45 every morning. I'm here till 9 o'clock some nights, and it's hard. Some nights I have multiple meetings. I have a meeting the first Tuesday of the month, which was this Tuesday. Sometimes it's the last week and then this meeting, but this back to back, it's difficult for me and then still show up at work tomorrow morning at like 7:30. So we all make sacrifices. And I'm sorry that people didn't get accepted the first time they applied. And there's always gonna be disappointments. And thank you for reapplying and thank you for being a part. But I don't think just because you were disappointed because you didn't get accepted, saying, well, then we should let more people in and have less accountability. I mean, I can go on for a while. But it seems like I already know it's a done deal, and it's extremely upsetting. I think about people like Landis, you know? And his commitment to the community and to the workforce policy and things like that. And now, like you said, it seems like their mission statement is being watered down, as well as their workforce policy, as well as a lot of other things. It's like, you guys don't want to be accountable, in my opinion, or we're throwing your side to some people who haven't even been here that long. It's like, oh God, gotta get rid of these. And what are they gonna do next? Move on and go where? And then to compare us to MCE, we could talk about MCE, but I could also talk about their workforce from the labor side. When we want to talk about work share and the people that work here in San Mateo County as electricians, we have like a 90% work share. And they only have like a 30%. So we're working with two different animals when we talk about PCE and MCE. But like I said, I can go on forever. I'm extremely disappointed, you guys can probably tell. I appreciate each and every one of you and the time you guys have put in. And I'm gonna miss you guys. Love you, Jason. As well as all you, Diane, but yeah, bro. This is sad. It is extremely sad for me. But thank you for giving us the opportunity to express our feelings.
Thank you, Steve. Do you want to share?
Yeah. So I'm actually year one into PCE, so I'm fairly new. But with my experience coming in, I was very much, I'm proud of everything that PCE has done and appreciate what we stand for and how much we've accomplished together. And with that in mind, I agree with John McKenna. Why not do both? I am passionate about my community, the Polynesian community. I'm passionate about the background that I'm from, not very low income. I stand to represent my people in that way. And I'm open. I came in with an open mind and want to share that with my community. So why not open that up as a community engagement?
Thank you. I'll be real quick and then we can decide what we're gonna do, if anything. The mission of PC, I like to pretend that I feel like I did something or this was useful. But this organization was the easiest sell ever. You get cleaner, greener electricity for less money. So if you're on the left, you win. If you're on the right, you win. No matter where you are, you win. This is the greatest single accomplishment in the 25 years I've worked in the county on stuff for this to get formed. I helped get this through Woodside, which was a recalcitrant city that did not want to participate. I was the chair of the Sustainability Committee at the time, a Brown Act body. And we told them exactly that. If you're a PG&E shareholder, we're sorry. Other than that, you win. And you win because the mission is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by expanding access to sustainable and affordable energy solutions. That one sentence is what the organization is, hopefully remains, and is the point. And so for me, this was like, oh, I can go and help and talk to them and learn stuff. And from Landis and Stephen and everybody else from the beginning, it was incredible. We had, what was the guy's name who was with you on the DER committee, who never shut up, who was great, went away.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He was great, but he knew everything about everything, and I learned a ton from him. I don't know if that was true, but it looked great and it was fantastic. And so I think that was why this was such a great group to be part of. I've done these kind of activities in a non-Brown Act setting, and often sometimes, and anecdotally, maybe this will be fantastic. It often divulges into little quibbles and fights, and people don't show up for the next meeting. This group had to be accountable. We saw what happened if you missed that second meeting or that third meeting, you were done. And so this group had to show up, participate. Every one of you did. We're outraged we didn't get stuff in advance. When we did get in advance, we had very thoughtful, wonderful conversation. Everybody got involved in whatever way they felt they could, and that was great. I think that the difficulty is the feature of the system. It's not a bug. the difficulty of the meetings and having the Brown Act is you have to be accountable. You have to do something. And it has to mean something because you have to go through those hurdles, over those hurdles. And I love that. I think getting more people is fantastic. We've talked about it for years, having forums where people can come and speak. I think the limitation on that was just the ability to pull people or advertise for people to come to those things. I still think we could have done that. But I do think if it continues the way it's designed, it will provide opportunities for those forums, which I think are valuable to do that Robert already leads. He lets people in his home all the time. Because he's here, it gives him a special imprimatur of that. I'm doing this, I'm committing to something. So when you come to my house, you're part of something bigger than that. John, I didn't know about Chase. I got rid of Chase the next day. I never would have been able to do that if I hadn't had that presentation. I go around the room, Michael's fought for DER and trying to get the freaking microgrid going or just commit to the megawatts in San Mateo County, even if the land costs $1 trillion since before I met him. And I think all of us have done that. And I think that's engendered by these kind of meetings and settings. So I think that would be great. But I also think I respect Kirsten and Vanessa unbelievably. They've been here since before I was. I've known them from the beginning. But I will tell you, Donna interviewed me, the Chair Colson interviewed me. She's a good friend of my brother's in Burlingame. And I was complaining about how frustrated I was at Woodside. And she said to me, I want you to come try this thing out. It'll be fantastic. I think you've got the right temperament for this and we could use your help and you could maybe make us a movie. I never did the movie part, but I did show up for all the meetings except for a couple. And when I missed two, I got the call. If you miss another one, you're out of here. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But I do think that this has been a great organization to pull off some things. And I hope that that can continue. I just know that this system has allowed for so many great things that are outlined by the rest of you. And so I don't know what else to say. I don't know what we do next. I think the next thing is we look at debating. Oh, public comment. That was it for me. I would like to entertain any public comment.
I have
Yes,
maybe I'll defer first to Vice Chair Medina, but and again, apologies, because I know this is Brown Act, so it may be out of order. Jen, tell me if it's out of order. I would love to respond if it's acceptable to just a few things that
Please.
were brought up, just
no,
because
in
in the spirit of having a collaborative conversation,
Please,
it just would be nice.
let's do that before public comment. And then
Thanks.
please, I'm
Okay,
sorry. I could do it in public comment too, but it's up to you.
So a couple things there were a couple themes that I think it's worth touching upon here. The first is to say that I remember all of you, many of you, to way back in the day. So does Kirsten. So do a number of our staff people. And I think there is a collective love for this organization that cannot be overstated. And I want to say from the chair that I sit in, I love this organization. And I love the people around this table. I love our staff. And I love the commitment that we have to the ongoing work that we will do. Whether this body morphs and evolves or not. So I do want to just say in a public forum that I'm sorry that you feel the mission statement has been watered down, and we're going to go back and look at that. Part of our goal has been in the last year to really shift a way that we communicate to be more accessible to all the public that we serve. Most of whom don't know what a GHG is, but they do know what pollution is, right? And so we're trying to actually use words that don't change the nature of what we do, don't change the push that we have to do a microgrid, by the way, and we're working on 2 of them right now. But to rather communicate in a way that's just more accessible to people who don't do what you all do and what we do every day. So I want to just provide some context for that and what that change is about. The next is this feeling that it is a done deal. And gosh, I feel bad about that. I think there's been an effort to try and engage in a way that was constructive, understood that maybe it didn't come off that way. We don't do anything around here without putting something in writing to get some feedback on, because otherwise it's just a circular discussion. And we have to move the needle. Part of why I was brought on was to bring this organization into the next decade. And we've gone through a number of changes and still more to come. So all of this really is not about in any way devaluing any of you or what we've done here. It's about inviting all of us to continue the journey in a different format. It is not a done deal. It is not. It's going to the executive committee with hopefully some feedback from all of you in November, and then to the board of directors in November for a discussion. Part of why we're here is to say, we put something in front of you in writing. We want your feedback. Otherwise, it's just an open-ended discussion. Last thing I'll say. Part of my job is to accept responsibility for the deployment of staff in the highest and best use of their time. And so this idea about doing both, I recognize that it sounds like a great solution, perhaps to all of you. It gives me a little fear. Because, and you know, Kirsten and Vanessa love you all. This has nothing to do with their willingness to be here at night or once a month. That has nothing to do with it. But we're trying very hard to broaden the tent, to deepen the understanding, to deepen the access to our community, and to make the highest and best use of these two fabulous staff members. And that includes a new Voice of the Customer initiative that we're undergoing. That includes some additional work at the state level to build out coalitions. There are 8 or 9 people here once a month, all of you fabulous. We want you to come along, but it ends up being a little bit of a, I don't know the phrase, but it's like the multiplier effect does not necessarily equal the kind of value we could get from having all of you plus. That's what we're after, is evolution and more impact. Not necessarily doubling the work. So I'm just gonna be honest about that. The board might disagree. So I'll stop there. I just wanted to pull out a couple of the threads. I hope that you all will come on the journey. We are totally in it. We are pushing harder than ever. We've had to get really real about stated goals and the feasibility of those goals against the costs of achieving them. That's a tough reality. I don't like it either. So we're not leaving them aside. We are having to slow down in some cases, given where we're at today. So thank you for listening. Just wanted to provide some feedback from the CEO. I don't know if Marty, on behalf of the board, you want to say anything more, or should we just have, if anyone has specific feedback on the proposal, including red lines, you know, we take those.
I want to add one more response. A couple of you brought up working groups. We can keep having working groups. I believe Raphael on the building electrification working group today said that group can keep working. Gwen wants to keep having a marketing work group.
Right.
So there's like, that doesn't need the formality of the Brown Act to keep pulling interested people.
You do more.
We
And it
can,
doesn't
we
have to
can
be
bring
at
in,
night.
we
I think
can,
your attorney wants to weigh in.
oh, yeah. So yes, we can have informal groups of interested stakeholders meet with staff. And so that can continue to happen.
Jen,
go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a correction at all, but just to give us some guidance in moving forward. We do need to have public comments, and then we will need a vote because this is agendized as a voting matter. And of course, anyone can bring a motion to approve or disapprove, however you want to phrase it. It is agendized as a motion to approve, and we can go ahead and take a vote. I'm just cognizant of the fact that this was agendized for 30-ish minutes, and we're at about an hour now.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion.
Wait, first I want to do public comment, and I wanted to see, you asked Vice Chair Medina, did you want to add anything? I'm sorry. Let me try to get you that. Hartford, go ahead.
Correct.
Marty, did you want to say anything?
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that me hearing you here tonight, I mean, it's very, very clear that the proposed change doesn't mean that your input isn't going to be available to you can continue providing input to us at our board meetings, our executive board meetings, and as staff has been saying, of having these additional working groups. So I really hope if we continue down this path that people will still be involved. That's all I wanted to say.
Is there any public comment?
We have a public comment online.
Okay, please.
Brian, I will invite you to unmute.
Can you let him know we only do 2 minutes, just so he knows that he's presenting?
Good evening, folks. Brian Schmidt from Menlo Spark. I apologize not being able to be there today in person, and I jumped in a little bit late. I had something urgent happening at home. Regarding this proposal, I do see some advantages of being outside of Brown Act constraints. I can think of times where, in my highly biased opinion, I had a good thought and expressed it, and it just kind of disappeared in the ether, and I never had a chance to take a second bite at that apple. So I could see some real opportunities in the community feedback forum to do something like that. However, I think the amount of expertise that this committee has brought, it would be a shame to lose that, especially at the level that it and amount of frequency that has occurred. One suggestion might be, the suggestion in the proposal is to have 4 community feedback forums. If this committee was to meet 10 times, then we're talking about 14 meetings. That's not that much more than what we've got right now. Regarding, are there ways the community feedback forum could be improved? If it goes ahead and with the idea this committee is disbanded, that there'd be a review after a year or so. And if there are any members of the forum who are also part of this committee, asking them their opinions in particular about how the new process has gone, I think might be a good chance to decide whether or not there should be both at the same time. But I do see some advantage in the proposal that John McKenna suggested to do both. Finally, I'll add that I'm aware of at least one occasion where somebody was promoted from this committee to the PCE board. So the forum itself might be another avenue. People get initially involved, then with this committee existing, they could be involved more intensely, and then eventually get elected to office and serve on the PCE board. So just a thought, and thank you.
We have public comment?
I think I would like to make a quick comment if I Thank you. This is Adam Lorraine, and while I happen to be a member of the Peninsula Clean Energy Board of Directors, I want to try and speak more as a member of the public for one moment, and share my individual opinion. I just want to apologize for using the word auspicious earlier, because frankly, I will just admit that I didn't perhaps even fully understand what that word means. And I meant to really just say, the reason why I'm here tonight is because I felt that this would be an important meeting. And I did not in any way intend to share an opinion on this topic or one way or the other. In fact, I will continue to not give an opinion. I did not intend to. I feel that I want to state that I am not giving an opinion tonight, and really I'm here to listen. And so I just wanted to make that clear. I don't intend to give thoughts on what's being discussed tonight. I'm just here to take in what everybody has to offer, and I just wanted to thank again everybody for their service on this committee, whether you've been here for 1 year or several. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
No.
Okay, and as our esteemed council said, we may take action, we may also not take action. So I open that up for a proposal or.
I'm gonna make a motion,
Okay, I entertain the motion, go ahead.
and I'll just preface it by saying we could go 2 directions with this, just oppose everything. Or take the position that John took to have a 2 group, and John might have to explain better what he's option. But I'm making a motion that we accept John's proposal for a continuation of this body and a second body of folks who are from the public.
Can I make a friendly amendment
Sure.
in support of what Robert said, supporting John's proposal, with the caveat that it nets out a time savings for staff, meaning net fewer meetings and less work for staff.
same number of total meetings, but fewer. For both groups, it'll be two groups.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Jen here. I would request that if that motion is going forward, to be seconded, and voted upon, that, there be an action included in it to disapprove the, recommendation, because as we have it agendized, it's to approve the particular, recommendation that's before the Community Advisory Committee today. So we need to include that in our motion making.
Jen, could I make a suggestion you can correct?
Yes.
I would phrase it the other way and say we approve the proposal with the amendment that the existing does not be discontinued, but that it be limited to not affect the staff negatively while still continuing.
That sounds beautiful. Let's go with
The
that.
maker of the motion agrees to that.
Is that your new motion?
Yeah, that's my new
Okay,
motion.
is that, Vanessa, did you write down anything that we said there in that way?
Why don't you just repeat it one more time
Okay,
for
please,
everyone?
Jen, see if I get this right. The motion that Robert is making is to approve the staff recommendation with the amendment that we also request the continuation of the existing organization, but in a way that the aggregated effect is to not increase staff resource allocation.
I hear you. That sounds fine.
Is that what you said? Okay. And you want to second that?
I'll second.
Okay. Is that something that anybody has an immediate objection to? I know that's not really in order here, but I don't want to discount discussion if there's some other proposal we can take up. John?
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with the motion, and when I presented the idea, it was with that in mind, that it would not create more work for staff. I don't know if it's possible to do that, but I think that's up to PCE, other bodies to decide, but that was my intention, was that somehow we do both, but it does not increase the staff workload in the process.
I think that's helpful.
Thank you. Sorry, there's a motion on the floor, so we need
apologize.
to go ahead and vote on it. There's comment has concluded. Thank you.
Did I capture your motion properly?
To increase staff time, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or staff effort.
Yeah.
Time, effort.
Yeah, I think is that fair for the motion makers?
That's better, yeah.
Does we request, I mean, shouldn't it be, we approve the recommendation with the amendment that it's moving while I'm talking, the CFP be continued in a way, I just, the request part seems superfluous to me, like unduly complicating it. We're not approving it with a request, we're approving it if it has this amendment.
Okay, I think that word smithing is good. Is that acceptable? Okay, we had the motion and the second. Sorry, Jen, for the little screw up there. Can we take a vote on that?
Yes.
Please, thank you.
Diane Bailey. Hi. Stephen Booker.
No.
Joseph Chen.
Aye.
Michael Fawcett.
Aye.
Kathleen Goforth.
Can I abstain?
Yes.
Abstain.
Meili Himuli.
Aye.
Aurelio Huizar.
Aye.
Gail Lee. John McKenna.
Aye.
Jason Mendelson.
I also like to abstain, please.
Cheryl Schaaf. Remy Tan. Robert Whitehair.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And thank you again for everything that we've done. I think I brought an order in, but I believe, Philip, you are up to what I do. I'm eager to hear all of the wonderful things on the recommendation of the home upgrade service program.
Okay, great. Do people prefer that I present from up here? I can also go up to podium if that's better for
That's fine.
recording
Whatever you're most
purposes. Okay, do you want me to bring my slides up or you?
I have them up. I was just reversing them. I'll hand it over.
Oh.
Thanks,
Good evening, Community Advisory Committee. It's a pleasure to be here. If I have not met you yet, my name is Philip Kobernick. I'm the Associate Director of our programs team. I've been here for 6 years and I've been historically overseeing our EV portfolio, and now I'm expanding into our residential electrification portfolio as well. And so I'm going to be talking to you about our wonderful home upgrade services program. I know a lot of folks have been in the weeds on this, so I am going to give a bit of an overview for folks who have not been in the weeds on it, and then talk about some exciting updates that are happening very soon that we think are going to rapidly accelerate and electrify our program. All right. Comedy's all about timing. Okay. Why do we care about fossil fuel in buildings? No surprise that hot water heating is by far is a big impact. You know, a lot of people interact with their cooking utensils or slide and range a lot, but really hot water heating and space heating represent the overwhelming component of greenhouse gas emissions in buildings. Really important because of upcoming air district regulations that will require the phase in of electric alternatives on burnout, like when these retire. So focusing on hot water heating in particular, but of course we're doing more than that, is a very important thing to be doing for greenhouse gas emissions.
Isn't that the worst?
Am I unstable?
Yeah. No, it just doesn't work very well. Could you advance it?
How about there we go. All right.
Oh, no.
One back. Okay, and another fun update is that electrification has positive savings opportunities for customers. So we did a pilot a couple of years ago where we electrified 9 folks with lower incomes in San Mateo County. We put circuit monitoring and energy monitoring in those homes in addition to looking at their bills. We found that all the folks that we looked at that have data had savings potential, like actual savings potential, or one of them would have saved if they were on the right rate. So being on the right rate is an important component of this. And those folks on average save 20% on their whole home energy bills. And also as important as savings, we think, in this report was that we demonstrated that homes can do this without an upgrade. All 9 of these homes electrified under their current service level, and 5 of them had 100 amps. So that report was just released. We're going to be doing some publicity around it, some promotion of it, but that was a really good demonstration of the potential. Okay, yeah.
Am I allowed to ask a question? Clarification.
Yeah.
It was only electrification done on these homes, no other building upgrades, no envelope upgrades or anything of the like?
No, not significant. Yeah, if it was done, it would have made maybe some like minor stuff with some local remediation, but not substantial envelope updates.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
I must have lost something. Phil, I thought you did other things in PCE. Are you in charge of this organization now? I'm sorry. I'm so dumb.
So I do a large chunk of our programs portfolios. Okay. So EVs.
That's my mistake.
I'm still the EV guy if you want to talk to me about EVs.
Okay, that's what
but we're doing more I'm doing more in the program space. But okay. I'm happy to talk EVs anytime.
Thank you.
Okay, next slide. Okay, so here's the program that you're familiar with. We've now for a couple of years now been offering rebates for HVAC equipment, heat pump HVACs, heat pump water heaters, offering 0% financing for folks to take advantage of, and then advising and support. These are existing resources. About a year ago, we've launched our more full service installation with Franklin Energy, and that also included emergency water heater replacement. But those are the newer elements. Those are the ones that will be changing, and I'll talk about that at the end, but I wanted to provide an overview on here. And I wanted to add another note too. On the top ones, the rebates, financing, support, and things like that. For rebates in particular, we added a question a couple months ago about renter occupied units, because we wanted to know how many folks that were serving renters in this regard. So we're about a fifth, around 20% or so of these upgrades are going to homes that are renter occupied. So it's a way that we were serving renters that we weren't expecting, but is available currently. Okay, next slide. Yes, so this is the newer part. Sorry if there's an animation there. I'm gonna talk more about this in depth later, but these are the parts that we're actively changing right now that we've been working on for the last several months and will be coming to the board with recommendations on those changes next month. Okay, so more of a deep dive on what we're currently offering. We have a $2,500 rebate for water heating, $1,500 for space heating, and 0% financing up to $10,000 over a 5-year term. New in November and December, we are adding a short-term kicker on the water heaters. So we're adding an extra $500, get it while it lasts kind of incentive. We found that people react to short-term incentives very well, like when something is only available for a limited amount of time. We saw that immediately with EVs in September, with a mad rush for folks getting EV rebates before the federal rebates expired. Ours, of course, continues. But the federal rebates for heat pumps are also expiring, but this time at the end of the year. So EVs expired at the end of September, heat pumps at the end of the year. And so this adder will be a good opportunity for us to put publicity around the rebates that we offer and at the federal rebate and at the federal level offers until they expire. So kind of moving people, get them while they are still here. Okay, next slide. And of course, our concierge service. So Gabby's doing an amazing job providing free one-on-one expertise. This is a service that she launched in the beginning of 2025, the beginning of this year. We have an in-house support, and it's an incredibly good resource for folks to take advantage. This is on like how to set up your projects, looking at contractor quotes. Great service. Okay, next slide. All right, so here's the newer component of it. Am I getting a new thing? Okay.
Batteries.
New batteries, of course. We love batteries. We love batteries. Okay, so what is full service installation? So so we have two pathways here. For folks who are income qualified and folks who are not income qualified. But at a high level, what it is we're guaranteeing work with contractors to go into folks' homes, scoping out electrification project for them, telling them what that looks like, and then executing on that project. It has to be either an HVAC or water heater or both, but it could be a whole home. And that's what we're always trying to get to with folks. For folks who income qualify, they get this at no cost. And so we're gonna be out there, you get swapping furnaces, swapping water heaters, panels if we need to, and then the technology that we're looking to do to avoid service upgrades like smart throttler or circuit pausers, smart technology, and things like that. For folks who are not income qualified, we guarantee fixed pricing. So we'll tell you no negotiating pricing. We have a full list that we're gonna put on our website. We actually just got better deals on it. So folks can look at this, say, okay, great. I wanna pay $6,800 to get a full water heater replaced minus our rebates and incentives, because we'll always factor those in too. They don't have to choose a contractor, they don't have to negotiate. That's the benefit for folks who are not income qualified. It's for folks that really want hands off. Yes?
What is the income for the owner?
Great question. I believe it's 80% AMI, and then we have some other qualifications that we put on top of that. For folks like we have limitations on like really big homes and things like that. So we're trying to focus on folks with moderate income and then not a lot of like built wealth to get these resources to where they're most needed. Yeah, very good question. Oh, yes.
Really quick question. Do you folks also handle the interface with PG&E for like getting the gas meter removed or getting gas shut off at the street?
We will help with gas removal. Yeah, we have not done a lot of like physical meters, but that is something we want to do more of. And so in the full service track, I can see us getting there. Yeah. We just haven't done it substantially.
That's one of the trickiest parts for a homeowner, which is finding the right person at PG&E to make that happen. So if that's something that you guys can do, you will relieve such a burden.
We've been getting a lot of, in fact, we just heard from someone today who like gave us their story on their gas meter removed. Yes. Yes.
I have another question. When you go to the customer house.
Yes.
Sometimes they have an extra room. But they never ask, they don't have the permit for the city.
Yes.
For that room.
Yes.
Some customer doesn't, they don't want to apply for other programs
Yes.
because when they go to the home, they're supposed to report to the city.
Yeah,
So that's the reason because they decline or they deny the service.
yes.
Peninsula Clean Energy is gonna pass that information to the city or they're gonna be the.
Really good question, Aurelio. So there's a couple of issues that we know are hard cases that we can't serve yet, but we want to figure out how to do. Unpermitted spaces is one, so we can't serve unpermitted spaces right now. Because if we try to get a permit with the city, it's gonna open up a whole bunch of can of worms for the homeowner. We've already run into it. So that's an area that we know we need to solve, but we can't solve right now, or it's not able to be done right now. And the second, like really complicated old electrical systems, like those are very hard to deal with. And that's another area that we know we need to get into in the future, but we're not doing right now. So if we see something like that, like an unpermitted space, I'm sorry, we can't serve this right now, but we want to come back and do it later.
And the last question, what about homeowners, but they got an extra unit in the back,
We can do ADUs.
but it's only 1 meter. We have 2 meters, one for the back unit and one for the front unit. It's only 1 meter,
Yeah,
1 meter for both.
I don't currently see why that would be an issue.
Because probably gonna update only the front unit and not the back unit. Because the back unit is rented.
I see. Let me take that offline earlier. I'll have to think about that. I want to take that offline, but if it's 2 totally separate properties under 1 meter, that might be a different situation than if it's a commonly called like an accessory dwelling unit, which is technically part of the same property. It's more of an extension of the same property. That would be fine, where we're able to serve properties like that now. But if it's like a split property sharing a meter, that might be a complicated case that I need to think about. But thank you for those questions. Oh, Vanessa, okay. Oh, there we go, okay. So more eligibility, I got into it a little bit earlier. Of course, they have to be a PC customer, they have to live there, and own it. And then for full service, like I did mention this before, you have to install at least a heat pump or a water heater. You can't just get a range, but we would like to do it. Yes.
Super quick question, how many San Mateo residents are PCE customers percentage wise?
Not about 97, 90%, somewhere around that next rate. Yes. Oops, okay. Oh, I jumped ahead of myself. Okay, so it is 80% AMI, residents under 2,000 square feet. Again, we're trying to focus on not the big mansions, you know, for folks, we want to focus where resources really can do the most good here. And then this is not intended for folks that own multiple properties. And again, I'm talking about the low income component of it only. The non-low income is still gonna get the fixed pricing with our rebates and loans, but for folks who are gonna get free, no cost to them installs, these are the requirements.
Good question.
Yes,
Going back, how do you determine a household's investable assets?
it's self-certified right now. Yes, we're exploring and thinking about ways to do that, but right now it's self-attested.
Yeah.
Good question. Okay, the final component of the program is our emergency water heater replacement. This is obviously for water heaters that are failing and exploding, where we're guaranteeing them a replacement in 40 hours. We've seen a lot of other agencies do this. MUD has been offering this for a little while now in Sacramento. Really interesting and helpful model for folks who don't have to worry about it. We're coming in and doing everything for them. Most importantly to them, we're getting their hot water back. But then for us, we're electrifying it right away. Fuse has been providing this for the last year and will continue to provide this in our relaunched program. Oh boy. Okay, so an important component of this program, which is our most comprehensive program that we've ever designed to date, but an important component here is that we're meeting customers where they are. We're offering different tracks so that folks who are in different places can interact with the programs as they like. So on the one hand, we have folks who want to go the self-service route. They know the equipment that they want to be able to choose it. They want to be able to choose their contractors. They want to get the best price. They want to go shopping, right? Those folks are great for the self-service route where we have rebates, loans, and help for them, pre-advising. Customer B doesn't care whether you put a Mitsubishi, a Daikin, whatever. They just want they want a heat pump. Don't really care what it looks like. Don't really care where it is. And boy, oh boy, do they not want to do contractor quotes. Yes.
So that begs the question, you mentioned 3 brands. So the brand is selected depends on the contractor that's used. Right?
Yes.
So Daikin.
Yes.
What are the other 2?
Mitsubishi, we know they're for HVAC equipment, AO Smith on our Ream on the water heater side, yeah.
So a customer B wouldn't have a lot of choice on that.
That's correct. So for full service, you're not gonna we'll have some options for you, but it's not meant to be a comprehensive menu. It's meant to be streamlined for folks that want to have us take care of those details for them. Yes.
Thank you.
Among the parts of that where we will probably have more options would be things like slide-in ranges, like the actual cooking equipment where people interact with regularly. We might try to have multiple options for those in a place where people can see them. But this track is for folks that want to be more hands-off, yes. Okay, so that's customer B. Again, just get it done, please. And customer C is my hot water is broken, I need to take a shower and get it done ASAP. That's our emergency track. Thank you, Vanessa. I think maybe this is done. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. We're gonna show our numbers to date and then what's changing. So, oh, this is very hard to read. I'm sorry about that. Numbers to date, our best month was a couple months ago. We did 30 assessments. These are assessments. So these are our home assessors going to people's home and our full service offering, coming up with plans for them to electrify. And for a lot of these, income qualified is still, it's kind of about 50-50 in most months between folks who are low income and folks who are not. With a little bit of increase in the market rate component of it in latter months. But you'll notice a slowdown in the last few months. And a lot of that is because we've been having challenges in the current model. And I'll be talking about how we've been dealing with that and what we're going to be doing going forward in a second. But we've been averaging about 15-ish or so. We kind of want to double that next year. Yes.
Are the assessments done by Franklin or one of the 3 contractors?
Now by Franklin. Starting December, the contractors. Yes. Okay, next slide. Okay, installs, not a ton, unfortunately. So these have been frankly slower than we have liked, which has led to us reconfiguring our program. So in total, I don't have the exact number off my head, but it's less than 40 or so, 40 or 50 to date in our program this year. Next year, we want to be getting to about 200 full service installs. Yes.
Could you give an idea of the conversion rate, like how many signups versus installations?
So a lot of them are still in progress and.
So maybe the first 6 months of the year, look at that. Or...
Yeah, I want to give you an exact number. I don't want to spitball off the top of my head. But it's somewhere around like a third or so at least are canceling. This canceling occurs at a number of different ways. So for folks who are in the market rate track, it could be that like the pricing was different than they were expecting. And so there are ways to improve that. And then for folks who thought they were in the income qualified but found out that they weren't, like that's another way of canceling. So there's a number of ways that we want to get into on fixing that. But a lot of this also, frankly, is because we're getting delayed data from our implementer. So it's very hard to like react to things that are happening when we're kind of working with a 3-month delay. Yeah. Okay, next slide. I think is what's changing. We are taking this in-house. So we are transitioning from a third-party administrator to PCE management of the program. So we will be working directly with contractors now. we've released an RFP a couple months ago. We will be going to the board next month with recommendations on those contractors. And this will allow us a number of benefits, but having a direct line to the contractors means a much more streamlined customer experience, better responsiveness, faster projects. In fact, we're putting our contract that they have to get these contracts done within 60 days of providing an assessment to a homeowner. So we're wanting things to be done easily and quickly. And we're using a pool of 3 contractors too, so that we can, if we can move things around if needed, we can also kind of keep folks honest by having different options for us to choose from. And we got better pricing. So I will talk about that in a moment. Actually, let's just go to that now. I think that's the last slide. Hey, we got better pricing. So for gray is what we are currently paying under our third-party administrator. Again, this is all our full service track, of course. So for what the most common water heater we put in is 65-gallon heat pump water heater. We're saving like $1,400 per water heater there. So that's 15% savings or so. Kind of more marginal savings on the HVAC equipment, but we did see savings basically across every single measure. So we're saving PCE dollars, which is great. But remember, for the market rate folks that are paying for it themselves, that's the fixed pricing. So they're gonna see this and like they're also gonna be saving money through this change. So it's a really great opportunity for our folks who are lower income, getting this at no cost, and the folks that don't qualify for low income, they're getting better deals than we were making available previously. And of course, for those folks, it's that price minus the rebates, minus the loans. So it's gonna be a really, really good offer. Yeah.
Those prices do not include rebates.
These prices do not include rebates. Yeah, exactly. So for the water heaters, it's $6,850 minus $2,500. Plus a little bit more if you're getting it before the end of the year, minus the federal rebates. And then of course you can take advantage of our 0% financing as well.
So Rewiring America is partnering with a couple of local contractors and they might
Yes.
overlap with your contractors. You probably can't say who your contractors are.
Not yet.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
But the deal with that rewiring established with the 3 is a 20% discount on
Just
heat
saw that
pump
today.
HVAC, which is the most important home electrification element. How are you gonna keep your pricing stable or like avoid confusion there?
I just saw that today for the first time. So my
They've been talking to you.
was that?
I think they've been in talks with you, so not
Oh.
to catch you off guard, but.
Sorry.
Is there a way to keep the pricing stable or how do you manage that?
So these are installs that need to be done by the end of the year. That's right, right?
To get the tax credit.
To get the tax credit. Yeah, so the timing is gonna be really challenging. Yeah, so for folks who are in the self-service track, great, they can do that right now. Like they can go out there, choose one of these contractors, get the 20% discount, get our rebates, get our 0% loans. That's all available immediately right now for folks doing the self-service track. For folks that want the full service offering, we're really not gonna get started until December is when our contract term even gets started. It'd be December 1. It's probably gonna be too late realistically, because that's signing up, getting an assessment and all that for the end of the year.
Sorry, quick follow-up.
Yes.
So if people wanted to use full service right now, could they, or do they need to wait till December?
We're transitioning off that pretty soon. So it is open, but it will be closing momentarily. So the short answer is, let me back up a little bit. For all 3 contractors, the plan is to get started them in December. For one of them, we are planning on starting them a little earlier, in November, so we can have continuity of service.
Okay.
The timing will be tight still though, yeah. But I wanna think that a little bit. Okay, and I think that's it. So those are the really the key takeaways from the update here is that this transition, we're gonna be working directly with contractors instead of a middleman anymore. And we are really excited about the positive customer experience that will bring, the savings that will bring, and overall provide a much higher quality caliber program that we expect. So we're really excited about this relaunch. Yeah.
Are other community choice agencies doing similar things?
Great question. We've been partnering pretty closely with SVCE on this. I don't recall off the top of my head exactly how their program is currently structured right now. Yeah, Michael, let me get back to you on that exactly, because I don't recall exactly who is having similar structures off the top of my head. I know SMUD has been doing similar elements for a while, not a CCA, but it's been doing something similar.
So we could say that we're a leader in this field.
Until I double check, yeah. I just don't recall exactly what SVC's program structure is.
I have not heard though that they're doing as much direct install work with contractors. I know they're
Yeah.
doing an emergency water heater replacement. So there is overlap with SVCE.
Yeah, we partnered with them
Yeah.
as part of this, what we've been doing with Franklin Energy for the last year and a half. I can't recall exactly on where we went on our own to do this reconfiguration. I don't know, now I'm forgetting exactly how they
Yeah.
reconfigured this. Thank you, good questions.
Go ahead.
Reach codes are coming to San Mateo in
Yes.
November.
Yes.
The question that always comes up, John was there last night, it's Sustainability and Infrastructure Commission. What's it gonna cost?
Yes.
My argument last night was, the market is maturing,
Yes.
things are getting better, they're not gonna go up, they're gonna go down. Is that a fair thing to say?
That's what we've been seeing. I mean, yes, for sure, yes. The marginal cost on upgrading is pretty low. Like we did the whole homes, like the whole all-in cost was 35,000 on average to do a whole home. And the marginal cost is considerably less, assuming that you're gonna be replacing a water heater, you're gonna be replacing a furnace anyway.
Well, I guess that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
We're not requiring everything be electrified. It's a much smaller program, but the argument always comes up, it's so expensive, nobody can afford it.
Oh, yes.
And the argument we like to get back with it, the market is maturing.
Yes.
Prices are going down.
Yes.
Things are better. And we're not telling you have to replace every piece of gas equipment in your house anyway.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're okay saying the market's getting better.
Oh, yeah, there's more, I mean, then there's more and more options too, especially on the water heater side. There's more and more companies providing more and more options. I think we studied 120-volt heat pump water heaters specifically and kind of extensively. I think with those technologies in particular, there's a lot of opportunity with scaling to bring those costs down as they get going. But yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'll say Phil told me.
Okay.
I'm gonna call myself with a common question. The first is, I think this is great. I think it was great before. I think this is even better improvement. I look forward to you doing it, and I would like to know if we want to give feedback individually, I was gonna go to Raphael about a specific question. I had you.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah.
Because I do think, just anecdotally, there's some suggestions I have just from what I've seen. I'd love to share that, but I do think this is gonna be great. I think we are gonna be a leader. I think it's revolutionary. I think it's gonna help people. I think you thought out getting it to as many people as you can, and I think this is gonna be a wonderful one. And to that, I want other questions for you, public comment. We have an action item here. So I'm gonna make a motion later to, I haven't done it yet, Jen, but I wanna make one to endorse this. But in the short term, is there, go ahead, John.
Do you want comment, this discussion now or public comment first?
Discussion still, no, public comment.
Okay. The water heater replacement cost quote averages, do you differentiate between like a straightforward garage replacement versus like an in-home, which is more complicated? Do these numbers, are they an average of everything?
Yes.
Okay.
So we do have some remediation options. So if a contractor needs to build an enclosure or something like that, or like physically relocate a water heater to a far, like from a closet to outside or something like that, we allow for an add-on cost to that we've negotiated. But that $6,750, I'm forgetting the exact number, but that $6,700 is meant to be one cost. So that is the cost that a contractor will charge regardless of the home conditions, and includes a 240-volt run too. So it's meant to average out over projects, so that in average, the contractors are doing okay, but we're also doing okay on our pricing. So that's what the intent of the fixed pricing structure is meant to do.
Just a comment, I shared this with Raphael earlier today in our working group, but I had a friend who called PCE. She had a emergency water heater situation. And I don't think PCE or Fuse did anything wrong, but she ultimately, when she had the conversation with Fuse, they said, we'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Yes.
That wasn't quick enough for her. She had a situation where she couldn't just turn the water off to her water heater. She had to turn the water off to her entire home. And she just couldn't contemplate going 24 hours without water in her home. Ultimately, Fuse called her back in 2.5 hours, but she had already like panicked and gone another direction. So just a thought about maybe the communication that Fuse might want to have with their customers to maybe more clarity or more assurances that it's not going to be 24 hours or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the threshold is for each individual on how long is too long, but 24 hours was too long in that case.
That's really good feedback. Thank you.
Is there any public comment?
We have one online from Brian.
Please, Brian, keep it to 2 minutes, please, again, thank you.
You should be able to unmute.
Good evening, Brian Schmidt, Menlo Spark again. Excited about this potential change. While Menlo Spark is very supportive of the full service home upgrades. We've been concerned about the slow pace, especially as it applies in Bellhaven and Menlo Park. So we're glad to see some of these ongoing problems hopefully being resolved in this area. We have actually been contacted, or I should mention that Menlo Spark worked with Job Train to train 8 heat pump installers. One of the prospective contractors has reached out to Job Train and us about hiring from that program. So we're very excited about that as well. A question I do have is there been any work on integrating this work with the DER program that Peninsula Clean Energy is getting up and running, or even if they're just trying to keep track of potential interest in the DER program? So if the CAC wishes to ask that of staff, I'd love to hear the answer. Thank you.
Well, answer that.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
we know, yeah, for sure, absolutely. Savings are even better when you have solar and storage for electrification, and we have some customers who have already gone down that way. And yeah, absolutely, we're planning to launch a solar and storage dedicated program, of which this could dovetail very nicely for folks who are doing electrification and want to do solar and storage as well. Yeah, absolutely.
John, Diane, any motion? Go first.
Yes, I was going to suggest that we not take action. This was a really great informational report, but I also feel like there's not nearly enough information here to take action on, and it looks like this is proceeding regardless, but we just don't really have a lot of info to go on, so but that would be my preference, but I'm gonna go with the group.
Just a thought, a suggestion, is PCE in a position to either work with contractors to train them on how to make home electrification plans, or to provide that as a service to your customers? Not necessarily you have to do your whole home upgrade now, but let's help you make a plan so that you can maybe do some preliminary work so that when these emergency situations come up, you're not in a panic. And just I mean, there's organizations like Quid Carbon that offer these for free as well, but maybe it's an arena that PCE might want to think about getting involved in helping homeowners get more comfortable with the ultimate transition that we want them to make. Just giving them a plan or helping them make a plan. And there's tools that are coming out that will help contractors and homeowners do that PCE could tap into. I could share more about that with you later.
That'd be great, John. And that is something we are doing with our personalized support offering with Gabby Barra. And that's something we want to keep doing more of and enhance that product to exactly what we're saying.
Sorry, I have a comment on that, because I know that Silicon Valley Clean Energy, part of their home upgrade offerings, as well as that, concurrently with a upgrade that a contractor might be doing at your home, they also provide like additional incentives to say that if you pre-wire your home at that time, if you're not ready for the heat pump water heater, but you do put that in because the electrician's already there, already present, it's not as much additional work, then that is an additional incentive that someone can pursue, that when the time comes and they're ready for it, they'll be very ready for it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, Diane took the wind out of my sails, so I don't know if anybody has other comments on this. Does anybody have a strong feeling? I'll just say what I was gonna say. Maybe it's the benefit of being in the working group on this. So I know I feel like I do know what the plan is, and I was gonna make a motion to support the staff enhancement of the direction on the home upgrade service program. Is that okay? Okay, so I'd like to do that then, all right? I don't want to offend my good friend here, so.
I said we table it till January.
Well, I think that might be too late, you know.
Thanks, got the joke.
I know, but so, okay, let me take it then. You guys, if I don't get a second, we don't do it, we don't vote on it. My motion would be that we endorse the recommendation of staff to enhance the home upgrade service program.
Can I add something to it? For the request, do we get this kind of report? Data, the graphs are spectacular. It's a good way to explain to folks in my community what's going on. So if we can amend that somehow, that we also get that data somehow on a dashboard, published some easy way. I don't know if you guys even have a dashboard. You probably do.
We've got dashboard.
You got that. But make them available to us so we can show, something.
All right, so I would like to amend my motion, if I can, to endorse the recommendation of staff on the evolution of the home upgrade service program and to request staff provide the public loudly with the data that they've used for this.
You had a word before buy-in, let's not buy-in. Uptake it, what's the word? No, let's not make this too complicated. Just say with data.
Sure.
Program,
I think program metric.
program adoption is fine.
Okay, I move for that.
Request the public with data. There we go. Thank you.
Does anyone want to second that? If not, it goes away.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Can we take a vote? Please.
Yes. Diane Bailey,
Abstain.
Stephen Booker,
Abstain.
Joseph Chen,
Aye.
Michael Clausen,
Aye.
Kathleen Goforth. Aye. Melee Humui. Aye. Aurelio Pizar.
Aye.
Gail Lee, John McKenna,
Aye.
Jason Mendelson,
Aye.
Cheryl Shah, Remy Tan, Robert Whitehair.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes.
That's great. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. We have, we did that. No, wait. Because report retreat, okay. 10 minutes. Kirsten's gonna lead it. I think Sean's gonna lead this too. Sean's, I'm sorry. Sean's gonna lead this, a discussion on the board retreat. Recommendation on topics for discussion, Peninsula Energy Board Retreat.
Yes, hopefully there's a slide here, Vanessa. I think this is a discussion item. Oh, it's an action item. We didn't talk about that, but that's cool. I'm gonna just be flat out honest with you guys. This is a packed agenda. So I am hoping for your support because there's not a lot of room for wholesale change. Just to be blunt. So here's what we have lined up. We had a request from several board members to kind of continue down the path of board education, which we've been focused on more this year. So we have a gentleman by the name of Chris Seipel, who's the vice chair of the Power and Renewables Group at Wood Mackenzie. They're a large national energy firm. They do a number of other commodities as well, but Roy, Zhu and I met with him a couple of weeks ago just to brief him and get his ideas. He's gonna be talking about global, sort of taking it from the biggest picture of global impacts, what's happening now with global trends, geopolitical issues, then down to what's happening in the United States. That's really where things are upset at the moment. Sort of what's happening on the federal level and then bringing it down the funnel, where then he will kind of have a dialogue with Roy to talk about what's happening in California. And specifically of all of that, then what is the nexus to all of that information and what PCE is doing? We're 1% California's load. We're small potatoes, but we do big things. So I think that's gonna be a really interesting educational opportunity and dialogue. That'll be probably the first 45 minutes. We do have a small hydro PPA that's coming out of Yolo County that would need to just get inked. So that's the only other sort of administrative item there. And then really the second half of the meeting is meant to focus on PCE, what we're calling PCE 2.0. Again, sort of part of this whole organizational evolution to prepare for our next 10 years. So within that, we will have a discussion of the updated 26 to 2030 5-year agency goals. I know this group has seen that once or maybe twice. We did take your comments to heart. So that will be up for discussion. We want the board hopefully to take action on a new office space. This office space, the lease is up next September. And so we're looking at moving into different and better configured space in San Mateo, which is more centrally located in our service territory. We are looking at a rebranding, and that comes with the potential of a new agency name. This is a project that's been ongoing for a little over a year now. So we're gonna be bringing the kind of the 2 finalists that the committee has worked on to the board and hopefully make a decision one way or the other, or to keep Peninsula Clean Energy. And then if there's time, talk about some ideas we've had for the celebration of our 10-year anniversary, which is next year. And there's a lot of just good stuff percolating. And then the last segment, hopefully there's enough time, because this will be a longer meeting. We're gonna start at 5:30 and hopefully adjourn by 9. But really have an opportunity for the board to bring to the public and to the staff, what are they hearing out in the community? What are their priorities for their community? Priorities for us, suggestions, really anything that they want to bring to the table for us to think about as we prepare our OKRs for next year in the fall. So that is, that's the way we've got it lined up currently. And would love any response or feedback. And of course, we hope you all will join us for that.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
We went through public comment, I think, first. That's very nice. I just want to make a plea. The board retreat, I've said this every year, is great. It's great. You're gonna go to one board meeting, that's the one to go to, because it's at the agenda. I find it invaluable to get a sense of what's going on, meet your person, your council person who's on the board, and it is I think, a really good chance to get into what the big picture is. And I think especially this year too, we should do that. So I just want to commend that, like Sean just did. And then I think we had a motion, but let me do public comment first. Is there any public comment?
Not on mine, no.
Okay, all right, then we want to repeat your motion?
I make the motion that we approve the October board retreat agenda.
Okay. Instead of approve, I can make one suggestion, say endorse.
Sure.
Okay, all right, thank you, all right. We have a motion,
Second.
all right, thank you, could we get a vote?
Diane Bailey. Hi. Stephen Booker.
Uh,
Joseph Chen.
Aye.
Michael Clausen.
Aye.
Kathleen Goforth. Aye. Melee Himuli.
Hi.
Aurelio Hizar.
aye.
Gail Lee. John McKenna.
Aye.
Jason Mendelson.
Aye.
Cheryl Shao. Remy Tan. Robert Whitehair.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Great, thank you for letting us know that.
Sure.
You're not gonna tell us the name in advance, Ken? All right.
I will be skewered.
This is the marketing and community liaison update.
Sure. Just got a couple of quick announcements. And you all probably are, plugged enough not to know that Actera is doing their Green at Home tours on November 8th. Robert, are you showing your home?
Sure.
All right, thank you. I know you're a regular there. Please help us get the word out to folks who may be considering electrifying. Great opportunity to go see green homes. And they changed from electric home to green home, so it's a little bit broader, but still have a lot of electrification measures. So yeah, help us get the word out. People should go on that tour.
Could I request that Vanessa, you send us the best thing we can share?
Yes.
Otherwise, for that, I think.
Good. Okay, great. Our annual outreach grant RFP is out. So for I know probably our CBOs are busy applying for that. Let's remind me what the due date is.
Tuesday at 5 p.m., October 14th.
Okay, October 14th, 5 p.m. We are working with one of our current outreach grantees, Casa Circulo, to put together a EV showcase at the Day of the Dead Festival in Redwood City on November 2nd. So our, yeah, it's going to be cool. Our, my colleague Lily Meek is figuring out how to do a very beautiful altar on the back of one of the EVs, and it's going to be, it's going to be cool. That's what I got. Anything else, Vanessa? Okay.
Any public comment?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Next is the working group reports. I would invite anyone who wants to do, John, you want to do yours, please?
Sure. Yeah, so the building working group. This month, we talked about the contracts for the 3 new contractors for the home upgrade program. The expectation is that the contract for those contractors will be signed at the next board meeting. We talked about how the board got a presentation on reach codes recently, and as a result, 3 cities expressed interest in moving, putting those opportunities in front of their city, Pacifica, South San Francisco, and Burlingame. I'll just add that I've heard that Los Altos Hills, Saratoga, Los Gatos, and Campbell are also looking at reach codes this cycle. Menlo Park and San Mateo. Menlo Park, Palo Alto, Mountain View, and Sunnyvale have already passed reach codes. And I wanted to just remind everybody that there's this amazing opportunity for commercial building reach codes, this air conditioning to heat pump. In many cities, it's going to have 3 times the impact of residential AC to heat pump ordinance. So please share that with your champions on your council. Reach out to your staff, make sure that they're considering that ordinance. So it could be really impactful for emission reductions. And then we also talked about the RFPs that have gone out for the Resi Solar and financing programs. They're expecting the proposals to come in soon, probably within the next week. And then, as we talked about previously, we just shared some feedback on the emergency water heater replacement program. And that was it for this month.
Are there any other, some of our leaders aren't here for that? Any other reports? I want to thank John. I used to poorly do in a previous incarnation that is not the same you did. You did a great job on the work group. I want to thank you for keeping it going and having a good report every month. And thank you. Is there any public comment?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next upcoming topics for discussion.
We heard all about the October board meeting already, but the CAC meeting in November, Jana Kopachak-Lande would like to bring a briefing on the energy efficiency plan and a briefing on community microgrid discussions to the CAC in November. And what's coming to the board in November? Microgrid discussion and the home upgrades and yeah, that and a minor change to how we do our solar billing, which will affect a small group of customers, potentially coming to the board in November.
To the board or us?
That's coming to the board. So the elements of that supposed to bring to you are the microgrid discussion and the and energy efficiency, correct? Yeah. Anything else that you would like to cover in November? And those are two big items.
Okay, any public comment?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Then we're gonna have Last Supper in November.
I'm not sure on that yet. And then committee member reports.
Want to clarify, and that's the first Tuesday in November, right?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Yes, it is the first Thursday of November because
First Thursday.
everything gets pushed up in November, December. Thank you for.
So the 6th of November.
11/6.
Yes, 11/6. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
Yes, so that happens for November and December, it gets pushed up to the first
Yeah.
Thursday.
Also December will be the first Thursday.
Correct.
Or have a meeting in
December
December?
The board has not yet voted on the proposal. So, so as of now, yes, we're meeting in December.
As of now, the board is having a meeting in December, or is that up in the air?
I believe we're all meeting and I believe the CAC is meeting and the board is meeting in December.
Well, you said it was up in the air, I'm sorry, misunderstood.
Oh, the proposal about the potential transition for the CAC, the board has not yet voted on it.
Gotcha.
So I can't speak with any certainty about the
I
future.
can safely say, probably the CAC will be meeting in December.
Yes,
I think that's safe.
yes.
Who do you think will say that will probably be needed?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can.
I hear you.
The board does not have a lot on the agenda right now for December. And so, and sometimes that's a very lightly attended meeting. So I don't think we'll cancel it, but it could happen if there's no reason to bring people in at night, we won't.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Amazingly, we're like half an hour before we normally are. I don't know how that's
That's
possible.
excellent.